Dear student, here is my second video lecture on operational amplifier and its application part 1. The goals of the lectures are understanding the conditions for ideal operation amplifier. We say it op-amp usually, and then we analyze the circuit of our ideal operation amplifier. We learn the open loop configurations. These are differential mode amplifier, inverting mode amplifier, and non-inverting mode amplifier. Thereafter, we conclude this lecture. Students, this is the simplest structure of operational amplifier. If you closely examine this equivalent circuit, it shows that the operation amplifier made up of 4 stages: input stage, intermediate state, transfer level transfer state, and the final output state. The input stage consists of the two differential amplifier. These are the two differential amplifier input and in intermediate state. This differential amplifier of input stage is dual input balanced output differential amplifier, and this is the VP means positive side of the terminal. It is also known as non-inverting input terminal, and VN is negative side of the terminal, that is the inverting input terminal. So this dual input balanced output differential amplifier is with the current bias circuit. Here this is the current bias circuit, which provides the high CMRR and maintains the high voltage gain. The intermediate state is directly coupled with the input stage. You see it. There is no coupling element is used, and this stage is also a differential amplifier, but it is single-ended differential amplifier. The output is taken from the collector of one of its transistor. So these two stages are actually the main component of the operation amplifier, which provides the high gain and high CMRR. The level translator stage is actually the emitter follower amplifier. This is amplifier, but a buffer amplifier, which has the unit gain. So it does not contribute to the gain or CMRR of the amplifier. It simply brings down the DC level to ground state, because these two levels are coupled directly. So there is a DC level shift well above the ground. To bring it back to the ground, this level translator is generally used. Last and the final stage is the output stage, where push-pull amplifier is used. Well-designed push-pull amplifier will provide the voltage swing, positive and negative side. You can say the voltage swing, and it gives the maximum values for positive side of the cycle and negative side of the cycle. So this is the limits of the output. In no case for the input signal, the output cross this limit. So this is all about the circuit analysis. Now we see the conditions for ideal operation amplifier. The ideal operation amplifier must have infinite open loop gain. The open loop gain is given by this equation. A is equal to VO upon VID, where A is the large gain of the amplifier, VO is the output voltage, and VID is the differential input voltage. So for this according to this equation, A to be infinite, VID must be equal to 0. So what it means? It means that the differential input voltage is 0. So all the components and the transistor parameters of the operational amplifier is perfectly matched. It reveals that there is no zero output voltage when input voltage is 0. So there is no need of input offset voltage in this condition, and this condition is already now fulfilled. Another condition for ideal operation amplifier is that it must have infinite input resistance RID. This is differential input resistance, which forces input current into both input terminals to be equal to 0. So why this is so? It is because to keep the large gain infinite, and there is no loading of the preceding stage. This condition gives us a very nice, you can say, condition which is related to this, that no input bias current is required. So this is the most important condition. An ideal op-amp must have zero output resistance so that any number of devices can be driven. An ideal op-amp must have infinite bandwidth so that any input signal which uh, is equal to 0 or may lie in between infinity, means any signal, input signal which is from 0 to infinity can be amplified. So it has, it must have the infinite bandwidth. It must have infinite CMRR, so no output noise. It must have infinite slew rate. We have already seen what is slew rate in previous lecture. So for any change in input voltage, the output changes simultaneously. Means if there is a change in input by some means, or if we are changing it in the input side, the output voltage must change simultaneously. Means there is no time delay between these two changes. So these are the conditions for ideal operation amplifier. It is not possible to get all above conditions because uh, in today's technology, it is so high technology, but in a single chip, in a same chip, it is not possible to fabricate the same type of material, same type of elements of the same characteristic. So it is not possible to get all above conditions, but there are practical operation amplifier that can be made to flow approximately to follow the approximately some of the aforesaid conditions. Means we can reach these conditions nearby. So we can achieve these by incorporating appropriate negative feedback networks. This is open loop configuration for inverting mode of operation amplifier. The input is applied to the inverting terminal and non-inverting terminal is kept to ground, you can say ground. The input signal is amplified by the open loop gain A, and the output is out of phase with the input signal. Since it is the we are getting the output out of phase with the input. So it is called the inverting mode because it inverts the input polarity of the input signal. Again, you can see the same condition as we have seen in previous slide. Now, if V1 is equal to 0 and V2 is equal to Vi, therefore, from this equation, we get V output is equal to minus AVI. Here, minus sign shows the 180-degree phase difference between input and output. So the polarity of VO will be the negative, and it is therefore it is you can say it is known as inverting mode amplifier. Here you can see the non-inverting mode amplifier. In this configuration, the input is applied to the inverting terminals and non-inverting terminal is grounded. The output signal is amplified by the, again, you can say open loop gain, and output is in phase with the input signal. Here again, the same conditions are given. And if V1 is equal to Vi and V2 is equal to 0, it is just opposed to the inverting. You can see here the V1 is equal to 0 and V2 is equal to Vi, whereas in this condition V1 is equal to Vi and V2 is equal to 0. Therefore, from the equation, this equation, we can get V output is equal to plus AVI. So the polarity of output is positive. The output voltage is in phase with the input voltage. So this is the non-inverting mode because the input and output wave shapes are in the same phase. Now looking at the conditions of open loop configuration and the characteristics of ideal operation amplifier, the question arises why we are not using the open loop configurations in our different types of applications. So the answer is that in all the three open loop configurations, only very small values of input voltages can be applied. Means it is just equal to 0, nearby to 0. Even for voltages level slightly greater than 0, the output is driven into the saturation because of the infinite gain, which is observed from the ideal transfer characteristic of op-amp. Shown in figure. Here you can see this is the ideal transfer characteristic of operation amplifier. Here you can see for 0 input voltage, it goes to the positive saturation as well as the negative saturation. Thus, when operated in open loop configuration, the output of operation amplifier is either in negative or in positive open loop saturation state. This prevents the use of open loop configuration of operation amplifier in linear application. So guys, we cannot use the open loop configuration of operation amplifier in linear applications. So we use generally the practical operation amplifier. Hope you enjoyed this lecture. Thank you very much. Stay at home. Be safe.